Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to install the very latest version of Kali Linux right on your Windows machine, all tucked away neatly inside VirtualBox. We're going to get your own professional security lab up and running completely from scratch.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's our game plan. We'll start with a couple of quick system checks, go grab the tools we need, build the virtual machine itself, then walk through the actual Kali installation step by step, and finish up with your very first login. Let's get started.
Okay, so first things first, what are we actually installing here? This is the brand new Kali Linux 2024.1, which just dropped in February 2024. And as you'd expect, it comes packed with a whole refreshed set of tools that are just perfect for a virtual environment like the one we're building. And what's really cool about this latest version is just how accessible it is. As you can see, you really don't need some beast of a machine to run a professional-grade security OS. It's been optimized to run super smoothly on pretty much any modern Windows system, even one with as little as 4 gigs of RAM, which makes it absolutely ideal for a virtual setup. Okay, so before we even think about downloading anything, we need to do a couple of super quick but really crucial checks on your system. Seriously, taking a minute to do this now is going to save us from a ton of potential headaches and installation errors down the line. Now, these two checks are super simple, but you don't want to skip them. First, we've got to know your system type. Is it 64-bit or 32-bit? This tells us exactly which Kali image to download. And second, we'll just quickly make sure Microsoft Visual C++ is installed, because that's something VirtualBox needs to install correctly.
All right, system checks are done. Now it's time to go grab our tools. And the good news is we only need 2 files to make this all happen: the VirtualBox application itself and the Kali Linux system image. So let's just be super clear on what these 2 files do, because it's pretty important. Think of it like this: Oracle VirtualBox, that's the box, the virtual computer itself. The Kali Linux ISO, which you'll notice is a much bigger download, that's the actual operating system we're going to put inside that box. So when you go to download for VirtualBox, make sure you click the Windows Hosts link. For Kali, you're looking for the Installer Images section. And hey, this is where that pre-flight check we did comes in handy, right? Make sure you grab the installer that matches your system architecture, whether that's 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay, we've got our files downloaded, so now for the fun part, actually building our virtual machine. We'll get VirtualBox installed, and then we'll walk through exactly how to set up the virtual hardware for our new Kali workspace. Okay, once you've got VirtualBox open, just click that big New button. Go ahead and give your machine a name. Something simple like Kali Linux is perfect. And then, this is the key part, select that Kali ISO file you just downloaded. VirtualBox is actually pretty smart and will probably figure out the OS from there. Next up is memory, or RAM. A really good rule of thumb here is to just give it about half of your computer's total RAM. So let's say your main machine has 8 gigs, then giving the virtual machine 4 gigs, that's 4096 megabytes, is a fantastic starting point. All right, next up, the processor, the CPU cores. You can actually check how many cores you have in your system's task manager, and that same rule of half we just used, it applies here too. So if you've got a 2-core system, assigning 1 core to the VM is the way to go. And finally, the virtual hard disk space. Trust me on this one, you'll want to give your machine a little room to breathe. The absolute minimum is 20 gigs, but if you can, allocating at least 25 or even 30 gigabytes is a much smarter move. It'll give you plenty of space for new tools and updates down the road. Okay, before you hit that final button, you'll get this little summary screen. Just take a quick second to glance over it, make sure your memory, processors, and disk size all look right. If it all checks out, go ahead and click Finish, and we are ready to fire this thing up. All right, this is it, the main event. We're about to start our brand new virtual machine for the very first time. And what's going to happen is it'll boot right into the Kali Linux graphical installer. Now, the installer is pretty straightforward. It'll just walk you through a few key steps. You'll kick things off with the graphical install, you'll set your language and location, create your user account, partition the disk, don't worry, it's easy. And then you just have to wait for the main installation to do its thing before we finish up with the bootloader. Okay, quick heads up here. When you get to the user setup screen, pay really close attention. You'll be asked to create a full name, a username for logging in, and a password. That username and password, that's your key to the kingdom. That's what you'll use to log in every single time, so pick something you're definitely not going to forget.
All right, just a little warning for you. When you get to the step that says installing the system, this is where all the big files are getting copied over. This is, by far, the longest part of the entire process. So honestly, now is the perfect time to get up, stretch, go grab a coffee. It's going to be a minute. Okay, as you're getting close to the finish line, you're going to see a prompt asking you to install something called the Grub bootloader. This is super important. You have to select yes here, and then choose your virtual desk. Without this little piece of software, your virtual machine won't know how to start up Kali Linux. And that's it. Just like that, the heavy lifting is done. The installer will finish up its last few tasks, the virtual machine will restart all on its own, and you'll be looking at the shiny, brand new Kali Linux login screen.
So go ahead, type in that username and password you created a little while ago. Hit enter and boom! Congratulations! Welcome to your fresh, fully loaded Kali Linux 2024.1 desktop.
So from here on out, your workflow is going to be super simple. You'll just open up VirtualBox, find your Kali machine, and click Start. Log in, do whatever you need to do, and when you're all finished, just shut down the system right from inside the Kali desktop menu. Easy peasy. Okay, one last little pro tip for you. If you go and check your network settings, you're probably going to see a weird IP address like 10.0.2.15. Don't panic, that's totally normal. It's just how VirtualBox sets things up by default. But for a lot of the things you'll want to do, you'll probably want to go into the VM's settings and change the network adapter to a bridged adapter. That'll let it grab a real IP address from your home router. And there you have it. You've now got a complete, totally isolated, and incredibly powerful security lab running right on your own computer. The entire Kali toolkit is just sitting there, waiting for you. So I guess the only question left is, where are you gonna start?